What's up guys, I'm back once again to show you some of the hot mods of the week, and in this week's episode we of course have a brand new weapon mod and an alternative to the lockpicking minigame. But to kick things off, as is becoming a bit of a tradition, we have a brand new retexture mod, but not just any retexture mod. I'm talking about Stone Walls 4K, and what this mod is going to do is take all of the stone walls in the game and update them with a brand new 4K texture. Now on this channel we take a look at a lot of retexture mods, especially by this particular mod author, so if you're at all worried about your load order, be sure to check out the all-in-one file. This is going to include almost 24 retexture mods, some of which we haven't even covered on this channel. Now the next mod I have for you is Modern Warfare Sentry Turret, and you can gain access to this brand new settlement piece by opening up the workshop and heading to Defense, Turrets, and here you'll see the 3 brand new turrets. Now the Mark 1 is going to do 12 damage, fire 5mm rounds at 2000 RPM. The Mark 2 is going to do 15 damage, fire 5.56 ammo at 4000 RPM. And finally, that brings us on to the Mark 3, which is going to do 18 damage, fire 308 ammo at 6000 RPM. Now unlike the vanilla turrets from the base game, these cannot spin 360 degrees. Instead, they can only spin 90 degrees left and right from their original position, and pitch 50 degrees up and down. Also, another thing worth noting is when the targeting system of these turrets is destroyed, they will go into frenzy mode, where they will attack literally anything. This includes your settlers. Now, if you don't like this feature, you can always download the no frenzy option. This will just make the turrets attack the enemies. Now, as you've already seen, these turrets can quite clearly handle themselves against some basic raiders. But how do these turrets stack up against 10 raiders in power armor? Well, as you can see here, the raiders really didn't stand a chance. So on the one hand, you could argue that these turrets are rather overpowered, but I would argue that the perk requirements sort of balance that out. But anyway, let's move on to the next mod. Now the lockpicking system in Fallout 4 is generally pretty good, but after thousands of times doing this, you're probably going to get tired of it. But if only there was a mod that got around this little minigame that we're starting to get bored of. Well, luckily we have just that with quick lockpicking. Now when faced with a lock, you'll have the ability to attempt to quick unlock it, and the success of this will be based on your lockpicking skill, and if you fail, you'll simply lose a bobby pin for each attempt that you make until you inevitably crack the lock. Now the only real downside to using this mod is that by quick unlocking a lock, you will no longer receive the XP for completing it, but if you have a character at endgame, this really isn't much of an issue. Now this may be all well and good, but what about the hacking minigame? Do we have a mod that can bypass that minigame? Well, fortunately, yes we do, with the mod Quick Hack Programs, and this mod is going to work a little bit differently to the previous one. What you're going to need to do is to open up the workbench and craft a program terminal, and after placing said terminal, you'll be able to start crafting programs. Now the primitive program is going to require hacking 2 and be good for easy and advanced hacking. The complex program is going to require hacking 3 and is going to be good for advanced and expert hacking. And finally, we have the magnificent program, which is going to require hacking 4 and may even unlock master hacks. Now something you should know about these programs is when you use one to attempt to hack, you'll always use the best one in your inventory. So if you have the perks and materials to craft it, I would simply craft a bunch of magnificent ones. Now people have been modding Fallout 4 for several years, and at this point I feel like everybody is reaping the benefits of using FallUI. It, at least in my opinion, is one of those mods that I simply can't live without. But this mod has been around for several years now, so what if there was something new that could make it even better? And with the mod FallUI HUD, we're going to be doing just that. Now the first thing you're going to notice about this mod is some of the user interface features are going to look a little bit different, which in my opinion is going to make them look just that little bit nicer, especially if you're using an item sorting mod such as Viz or VizG. And if there's anything you want to customize, simply open up the MCM. Here you'll be able to tweak until your heart's content. And I have to add that this is one of those mods that I come across very rarely that I might just leave permanently in my load order. But anyway, let's move on to the next mod. Now the next mod I have for you is Vtaw Wardrobe 7, and this of course is the 7th wardrobe mod that this mod author has put out, but unfortunately we've never actually reviewed one of these mods on this channel, so we're just going to jump in at number 7. Now this mod is going to be adding in literally dozens of new outfits and armor pieces, and if this doesn't do it justice, this is what that's going to look like in game. And of course, all of these are craftable at a chem station under the Wardrobe 7 section, and they're going to require no crafting materials and no perks. Now despite adding literally dozens of new pieces, many of these come as sets, so it's not like you're downloading 100 new outfits. But despite this, it doesn't take away from the overall mod. Each piece has a rigorous attention to detail. Now I would love to show off every single piece added, but we would be here for a very long time, and a lot of the outfits are definitely not safe for work. So if you'd like to see these for yourself, then I would highly recommend downloading this mod. And just like all other good armor mods, of course there is an optional file to allow all of these pieces to work with CBBE. And of course this week's weapon mod is the HK-G3 battle rifle, and you can acquire this weapon in several different ways. Firstly, you can craft it at a chem station or purchase it from vendors, but if you'd like to get your hands on a unique version, then you have two options. Firstly, by heading to the old gullet sinkhole, you'll be able to find the HK-G3SD.
Perfect.
Or by heading to the top of Mass Fusion, you'll be able to find the Heat.
Yes.
But in either case, in terms of upgrades, you have the choice of 14 receivers, 5 barrels, an impressive 16 stocks, an absolutely amazing 29 sights, 4 covered materials, 3 stock materials, 15 lower rail attachments, 4 grips, 5 mags, 10 handguards, 11 muzzles, 11 damage options to balance the weapon, and finally 2 bodies. Now as you can see, this weapon has an absolute ton of customization, so I can tell you that it's going to take a pretty long time to get bored of this weapon. But the selling points do not end there. What with this weapon being added into the leveled list, it's only a matter of time before you run into a raider using this weapon. Now the last thing to mention about this mod is it's going to come in both 2K and 4K. And with that, that's going to wrap it up for this mod, and the video for that matter. I hope you all enjoyed the mods here today, and if you did, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and I hope to see you all in the next video.